Kentucky Derby. In this race, you're going to be watching a 40-to-1 shot. Number 6, Smooth Tizzy go wire to wire, and you know what his win does? It makes a few of these owners think again about whether they want to go to this year's Kentucky Derby.
The half is on the board in 48 seconds. Smooth Tizzy leading Starbase, then Soaring By down toward the inside. And here's Soaring By inching forward to challenge Smooth Tizzy for the top spot. Starbase is caught wide in third. Trust Your Luck between horses in fourth. Belgravia fifth on the outside. 40 grams is in tight toward the rail. Joe Got Even, Sacrifice Bud, Boogeyman Ball is last. They're midway on the far turn. Smooth Tizzy fights back on the outside, leads it by a neck. Soaring By is second. Starbase put to a drive in third. 40 grams looking toward the rail. Belgravia still 5 lengths off the lead. Joe Got Even on his outside. They turn for home. Smooth Tizzy in front by 2 lengths, coming to the 8th pole. 40 grams and Starbase behind him. Soaring Bay down toward the inside, past the 16th pole. It's Smooth Tizzy, a 3-length lead. Smooth Tizzy hanging top to Starbase. Smooth Tizzy, a 40-to-1 upset under jockey Robbie Alvarado in the Coolmore, Lexington.
And now, to get you up to date with all the happenings in and around the track, let's saddle up with our own Stephanie Mercier.
Over the winter, the racebook at River Rock underwent a major renovation, and we met with Teletheater BC's General Manager Bill McNeil to have a tour of the new racebook.
Included in the renovation was the installation of 5 private cubicles where players can come in and have their own personal space with 6 dedicated TVs that they control, as well as a personal wagering device. We also installed approximately 60 carols with individual TVs as well, for players who again want to be able to control which track they want to watch, as well as control the volume so they can listen to the race call. In addition to that, we came in, put in new big screen TV, added in approximately another 30 42-inch LCD TVs, and basically revamped the entire floor plan of the racebook to make it much more customer friendly and much more appealing for the horse players. By far it is the flagship racebook that we have here in the province of British Columbia, and in my opinion it's one of the nicest in all of Western Canada.
We had a chance to ask Bill McNeil how it's being received by racebook patrons.
Since this renovation in December, we've had nothing but positive comments coming from the customers, and they're excited about the renovations and the improvements that we made to the space.
Next week is the running of the George Royal, and multiple winner Lord Nelson won't be entered. We caught up with Lord Nelson's trainer, Dino Condolinios, to see what the future holds for the popular 10-year-old gelding.
Still grabbing a hold of the bit and training like his old self. Now, obviously, I'm not going to run him. Try to duck the real tigers, like the spaghetti mouses and true metropolitans. I'm not going to do that to him, or at least try, But we'll try to keep him sprinting and try to pick our spots, run him once, maybe 2, possibly 3 times, and hope for the best.
Spring is foaling time, and the Sport of Kings cameras visited the popular mare Dance with a Vixen and her trainer Tom Longstaff. And we met a new member of the family. We asked Tom if he had chosen a name for the colt.
Well, we threw 3 or 4 around. One of them there was too many letters. One was used. So we've gone with the Dance, and that was available. I was quite surprised it was, and that has some special meaning for me, and I think it suits him. We're hoping he's going to be the Dance. Looks like he's going to be a big, strong colt. Already got his mother's attitude.
Racing fans will get an early season treat next Saturday when the older horses go head-to-head in the George Royal. And Sunday, we get to see the older fillies and mares race in the Brighouse Bells. And from Eagle Ridge Thoroughbreds here at Hastings, I'm Stephanie Mercier, and now you're back on track.
Time now for Sport of Kings Trivia, and here is today's trivia question. In 1987 at the Keeneland July sale, no one wanted him. 2 years later, he went on to win the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness. Who was he? We'll have the answer for you in just a moment. Don't go away. The Sport of Kings. We'll be right back. Time now for the answer to today's trivia question. Sunday Silence is the big horse no one wanted. Sunday Silence voted Horse of the Year in 1989.
The following piece you're about to look at not only gives you a chance to look at some of the greatest history when it comes to horse racing in Canada, it also gives you a chance to see what Canada is all about. It's part of an interesting DVD provided to us by Woodbine Racetrack, which has played a major part in making horse racing known in Canada. We begin this interesting series with a look at Northern Dancer.
In 1964, headlines were dominated by the little horse with a big heart and strong will.
I always adored Northern Dancer. He certainly had character. I loved him dearly because he was so little. But nobody else seemed to love him when he was a foal or a yearling as I didn't.
Very, very aggressive, okay? He was very tough. He, he strike you out or he kick you with the hind or the front.
He may have been small, but what he lacked in stature, he made up for in attitude.
75% of horses acting like that, okay, from beginning, okay? They know they're racehorses. They have a determination and ability.
This little bay colt with the crooked blaze and 3 white socks would defy all expectations once he set foot on the field. The Dancer foreshadowed his greatness as a juvenile, winning 7 of 9 starts, including the Remsen Stakes in New York, en route to being named Canada's 2-year-old champion. As the Triple Crown season dawned, Northern Dancer launched his historic 3-year-old campaign in the Sunshine State, scoring an impressive win in the Flamingo Stakes. But the best was yet to come for the diminutive Dynamo. Back-to-back wins in the Florida Derby and Bluegrass Stakes punched the Dancer's ticket to Louisville. But if Canada's little horse was to wear the roses, he'd have to do it without regular rider Bill Shoemaker. The Shoe decided to ride California hotshot Hill Rise, leaving replacement jockey Bill Hartack with the chance to guide the Dancer to glory.
Northern Dancer by a long head, Hill Rise second.
It's naturally probably my most proud day in racing to be here today.
Northern Dancer's game win over Hill Rise in the 1964 Kentucky Derby came in a record time of 2 minutes flat, a mark that lasted until 1973. Winning the biggest horse race in the world instantly made the Dancer a beloved national hero. 2 weeks later in Baltimore, Northern Dancer again made Canada proud by capturing the Preakness Stakes. Alas, the Dancer's Triple Crown dream was not to be, as he finished a disappointing 3rd in the Belmont Stakes. With the Triple Crown ride behind him, Canada's #1 equine export returned home to a hero's welcome. In what would turn out to be his final race, the Dancer went out in a blaze of glory, matched only by the sparkling blaze on his face. He launched a breathtaking rally to win the 1964 Queen's Plate. After a short yet electrifying racing career, Northern Dancer became the sire of the century, and his memory will live on for years to come in the hearts and minds of a generation.
Don't go away. The Sport of Kings will be right back.
Now it's time for our Vancouver Province salute to the champions. Today we're looking back to the year 2005. The horse you're going to be watching is Giacomo. Now if you remembered earlier in the program, I mentioned about Diego, his little brother, who won the Santa Anita Derby in the same style as you're about to see in this race. Let's go to Churchill Downs, the 2005 Kentucky Derby.
The Salute to the Champions is brought to you by the Province Sports, where you can read horse racing columnist Tommy Walski every Friday. The Province Sports and Tommy Walski. It all starts here.
From post 13, and they're off in the Kentucky Derby, and Bandini and Spanish Chestnut both broke quickly. Bellamy Road is right there with them, and on the far outside, it's going wild. So a stampede under us for the first time, and as expected, it is Spanish Chestnut in front, going wild right there on the outside. Bellamy Road not far behind in 3rd. Flower Alley is 4th. High 5 fifth between horses. Closing argument 6th on the outside. High Limit is 7th at the rail, and Bandini is running in 8th position. Sun King's 9th toward the inside. Buzzards Bay is 10th. Fleet Alex in tight quarters, running 11th, 3 lengths back. Coin Silver is now 12th toward the inside. Noble Causeway is 13th. Andromeda's Hero is now 14th. Wilco 15th. Greeley's Galaxy 16th. Giacomo 17th in between horses. Sorted Out is 18th. And then Don't Get Mad is 19th. And Greater Good is the last of 20. 45 and 1/5 seconds among the fastest opening half miles ever in the Kentucky Derby. In the role of the pacemaker, it is Spanish Chestnut. Flower Alley second on the inside. Javier Castellano is now asking Bellamy Road at the half-mile pole. Going wild in between horses, so too High Fly. And Buzzards Bay making a move on the outside, closing argument. A Fleet Alex trying to thread his way through between horses. He will go inside as they round the far turn. 3 furlongs to go here. They ran 3/4 in a bruising 109 and 2. And here comes Bellamy Road, who's charging up on the outside. High Fly is moving with him. Spanish Chestnut is weakening. A Fleet Alex is in behind them. Closing argument is in with the chance there on the outside. Buzzards Bay coming down the middle of the track at the top of the stretch in the Kentucky Derby. High Fly, Bellamy Road, closing argument on the far outside. Here comes a Fleet Alex charging through between horses. Giacomo, Don't Get Mad, late charge on the far outside. Coming down to the finish, closing argument, short lead. Giacomo, a Fleet Alex. It's a 3-horse photo finish, and on the wire, it's Giacomo who has won the 131st Kentucky Derby.
Well, that's it for this edition of the Sport of Kings. And once again, we would like to thank all of you for spending the last 16 years with us on Saturday mornings. And they're leaving you with one thing to remember. Live horse race, as I said, begins today, but there's a good stake race today and tomorrow. They're called the Sale Stakes. The 3-year-old fillies run today, the colts tomorrow. Remember to keep them straight, and you know what? We are going to get you on that final turn. Have a great weekend.
I don't have to love, you're my guy.